Greetings to you, dear partners, investors, and viewers of our channel. Well, today is another Monday and we're buying new coins for our public portfolio. Friends, let me remind you that we are showing a public journey to reach $100,000 in 1 year. We invest $100 every week and show everything openly. What we buy, how much we buy, and we move towards our cherished goal. Today is another week, and today we're making more purchases for our public portfolio. We've decided to conduct a social experiment for the first time. To our viewers, we are the RV Group Investment Cryptocurrency Fund, which has been around since 2016, and we are growing it. Coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bambi, and others with an approximate yield of 3 to 8% per month. If you are interested in collaborating with our cryptocurrency fund, you can find links in the description to both the bot and technical support service. If you are interested in this experiment of a public portfolio aiming for $100,000, give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment to support this video. We also conduct weekly reviews of the cryptocurrency market, share our analysis, where we think the price is headed in the near future, and which crypto assets we are buying or selling. Which positions do we prefer? And all of this is just for you. Well, let's not waste any more time and get started with our review. We've already added another $100 to our public portfolio. We have a fund account where the funds are deposited. And in order to make purchases, we first need to transfer them. We click transfer, select spot account, enter the full amount, and click confirm. Done, the funds have been transferred. We go to the spot account and see that we have $100 available. We're conducting this social experiment on the exchange of our partners, the BingX Exchange. If you want to trade with bigger discounts and receive nice bonuses, you can get them using our link in the description. For example, if you have VIP 3 status on any exchange, by registering through our link, you can get a status 2 levels higher, that is VIP 5. Just register, provide confirmation, and if you have any questions about this, you can contact our technical support service. They will definitely help you get this awesome status, and you can trade almost for free. In this table, we list all the assets we purchase, specifying the purchase amounts, the number of tokens, and the purchase price. This means that we are already investing an additional $100, making it $400 in total. Friends, at the end of this video, we will check the balance of our account. At the moment, today we will be buying more of our cryptocurrency assets, and we'll start with the DOT coin. The DOT coin is a heavyweight asset that has been accumulating in a range from approximately $4 to $10 to $11 for a long period since 2022. Let's proceed to the purchase. We enter DOT, select order, market. Only DOT is available. We specify the amount as 10 USDT and click buy. The market order has been executed. Let's go to the order history. Today's date is shown and we see the purchase of the DOT coin. Let's go to our table, write DOT, amount 10 USDT, quantity. We have 3.18 friends. That's the number of coins we have first of all. For DOT, we bought for 10, with the total amount coming out to 226. It's important to buy coins consistently, on a regular basis. Buying once and forgetting about it is also a good strategy. But this option is more promising and profitable because you can average your entry point much more effectively and achieve better results with crypto assets on the market. No matter how much of a professional you are, it's impossible to pinpoint the absolute market top or bottom. It's the regularity and discipline of consistent purchases that allows you to achieve this averaged entry point. And so, for example, when we bought 3 weeks ago or even 4 weeks ago, the number of tokens we could get for 10 USDT was different. Back then, we got 2.26 tokens, but today, for the same amount, we get 3.18. And today, our purchase price for DOT was 3.13. Now, let's see whether our portfolio has dropped or grown today. Be sure to watch this video until the end. Alright, we've made our first purchase, now let's go make the next one. We're buying our next asset, called Solana. By the way, at the moment I switched to Solana, for some reason my left palm started itching. I wonder what that means. Well, let's go ahead and make our Solana purchase. Solana is a very promising project. We know very well that a huge number of projects are being developed and built on Solana. It's an entire ecosystem. It's not just some distant, far-off token, right? Solana often competes with Ethereum. And it's a very promising project. We see that we have $90 left for purchases. We enter the amount, 10 USDT. Click buy. Check the order history. We see Solana, it's there. Go to the public portfolio. To our records. Write Solana. Specify the amount, 10 USDT. Today, we ended up with 0.05 Solana. Our first purchases were at a price of 0.042. Today, we have the best price. And our purchase price is $199. $199. Let's move on to the next purchases. We are very happy to add more Tuon coin to our public portfolio. We all know very well what the Ton coin is and who is behind this asset. The Telegram messenger and its founder, Pavel Durov. This is also a mega promising project that could bring huge returns in a bull cycle, which could amount to dozens or even hundreds of X's. We see that we have 80 USDT left in our balance. We enter 10 USDT and click to buy Ton. Let's check the order history. The Ton coin has been purchased and we record it in our public portfolio. The amount is 10 USDT. We received 4.53 units, and our purchase price it averaged out to $2.20. You see, we bought the first Ton coins at a price of 2.85. Now the prices are much more attractive. But let's see how much our public portfolio has dropped. If we look here, some tokens have dropped by almost 30% from the price of our initial purchases. Curious to take a look? The next token we are adding to our public portfolio is the Optimism token. At one point, Optimism reached about $5. From the current levels, that's about 1,000%. Optimism is also a pretty interesting and strong project that attracted significant volumes. That's why we'll be regularly adding it to our public portfolio. We're recording Optimism, an amount of 10 USDT, and making the purchase. Let's move over to the exchange. We have 70 USDT left in the balance for purchases. We entered 10 USDT and click to buy Optimism at the market price. Optimism has been purchased. Let's check the order history. The average purchase price is 0.45, and here's the number of tokens we got. Let's do the math. 22 tokens. Friends, we bought Optimism during our first purchases at the beginning of this month, back when the price was 0.76. And today we bought it with almost a 40% drop. I'm actually curious myself to see what's going on with our public portfolio. It's dropped by some amount. Has it really dropped by 40, 50, maybe 20%, or maybe even more? We'll see at the end of this video. And of course, we're buying more STRK tokens. On the 10th, there was a massive drop, which gives us the opportunity to buy our coins at very favorable prices. Friends, we've been showing our public portfolio ever since we registered on the exchange. BingX, link in the description. And we also show how we used our credit card to buy through Patuki, and for kids, it's easy to do and simple. It only takes 5 minutes, just like the title of this video says. In just 5 minutes, you can easily and quickly make a purchase. Verification and registration on that exchange really only takes 5 minutes. So go ahead. The BingX Exchange offers simply amazing conditions. By the way, we can see here that the amount is 10 USDT. Look at how tiny the fees are here. The fees are basically negligible. Here, they're even lower. So compared to other exchanges, the fees on BingX are practically non-existent. You could almost say there are none at all. But if you use our link, the fees will be even lower. We have 60 USDT left. We also buy for 10 USDT. Click on Buy STRK. We open the order history and see that the purchase took place. STRK. The amount is also 10 USDT. Token STRK. Today we bought it for $10 and got 81. 5/10 of a coin, 81.5. The first times we bought for $20 this token and we got 117. So basically, the price also dropped by about 40%. From our first purchases, it's already interesting to see what happened with our public portfolio. Did it really drop by 40%? Because many tokens have dropped by 40%. Our average purchase price was 0.122, friends. The next token we're going to add to our public portfolio is a token called MORPHO. The token is quite new, but also super promising. Let's go. Type in MORPHO, enter the amount, 10 USDT, and click buy MORPHO. We've made the purchase. The MORPHO purchase has gone through. Let's check the order history. Go to the spreadsheet, write down the asset name, and enter the amount, 10 USDT. We ended up with 4.90 MORPHO tokens, and our purchase price for MORPHO was 2.03. The first time we bought MORPHO for 20 USDT, and we got 1,027 tokens. The purchase price was $1.94. Now we've bought at more or less the same prices. And the next asset we'll be adding to our public portfolio is a token called EIGEN. By the way, during that dip on the 10th, it was just impossible to buy at those prices. It's a good thing I always explain to you, friends, don't use futures positions, because on the 10th, there was the largest number of liquidations in the entire history of the cryptocurrency market. But when you hold spot, nothing happens to your spot assets. There are no liquidations here, and there can't be any. So let's move on. Let's see. EIGEN Layer is also an extremely promising token. We talked about it and showed it in our first episodes. And we're buying it for 10 USDT. Let's go to the order history. We see that EIGEN was bought for 10 USDT. Let's write it down. We ended up with 8.96 tokens, and the purchase price for EIGEN is 1.115. Friends, let me remind you that this public portfolio is in no way a recommendation or, even more so, a call to action. This is our social experiment. We are showing what we personally do, publicly and openly. Every investment, one way or another, is always associated with risk, and we are fully aware of these risks and take them on ourselves. Fear and risk are involved, so we strongly advise against copying our actions under any circumstances. So, we have 30 USDT left for purchases, and we are adding another cryptocurrency asset to our public portfolio. And this asset is called MNT. By the way, Mantle has shown a very good performance. I've talked about it a lot. In our episodes, we write the amount as 10 USDT. Click Buy Token, MNT is purchased, and we record MNT. The purchase amount is 10 USDT. We bought 5.94 MNT, and our purchase price was 1.68. The next cryptocurrency asset we would like to add to our public portfolio is called Hype. By the way, that's a good name. God grant you, Hype, great growth. Hype is quite a strong token of a decentralized exchange, a decentralized platform that allows for good purchases. And by the way, Hyperliquid had the least amount of slippage, order failures, and similar issues. And things like that happened on a huge number of other exchanges. That's why Hyperliquid is a very promising token, and we're happy to add it to our public portfolio. We type in Hype, make a purchase for 10 USDT, and click Buy Hype. We check the order history and see that we've bought this asset, and we record it in our public portfolio. The amount is 10 and the number of tokens. We got 0.21. And our purchase price today is $46.83. And of course, we're buying. Which other crypto asset should we buy with our remaining funds? We're buying more Ethereum. By the way, if you look at our balance, you'll see it's 10.46. When we buy at market for 10 USDT, there is not always enough volume for it to be exactly that amount. So the order is filled, and here it shows the exact amount spent. Now let's move on. Here we have Ethereum, and we're buying it with the entire amount. Buy Ethereum. Done. Let's check the order history. We bought Ethereum for 10. So the amount of Ethereum we got today is 0.0025, and the purchase price for Ethereum today was 4,155 or 155. Done. And as usual, we move on to transfer Ethereum from the spot account to the perpetual coin M. We type ETH, select all, and confirm. Then we go to Futures, Perpetual, Coinem, and select Ethereum QSD. So, let's see what our current status is today with our contracts. We chose a long position on Ethereum, which we keep buying more of regularly. And today, our long position is slightly in the red. We've already loaded $60 here, and now we're going to add another 10. So, we'll have a total of 70. USDT is already invested in a long position on Ethereum. We're doing this in order to multiply our Ethereum as it grows. But there are also risks involved, because the expected liquidation price, if at any moment it drops to $2,237, this position will simply be liquidated and we might be left with nothing. We can see that we have 0.0025 Ethereum available. Here we see an isolated first leverage. We're simply buying more at the current price. Let's take a look. Right now we have 60 contracts. The average opening price is 4,449 and our liquidation price is 2,237. So we click to open a long position. The market order has been successfully created. And we can see that the number of contracts is now 70. Our average opening price has changed. Instead of 4,449, our average opening price is now 4,405. And of course, our expected liquidation point has shifted. Initially, it was 2,237, now it's 2,214. In other words, we are gradually averaging in, little by little. Well, friends, let's take a look at the current balance of our public portfolio. Has it dropped or maybe even increased? Let's take a look. Today, the balance of our public portfolio is 373 USDT. Out of the 400 USDT invested, that's where we stand today. So, in fact, our drawdown isn't that big, even though a huge number of tokens have dropped by 30, 40, or even 50%. But the strategy that says to keep buying at any price, and the lower it goes, the more you buy, it works. Because our drawdown is only... Of course, it's clear that right now we added another 100 USDT, so in total we've invested 300 USDT. But as of today, our drawdown is about 9%. Can you imagine, even though the tokens have dropped quite a lot? And of course, never put all your eggs in one basket. Well, let's see how this strategy works out and whether it will lead us to our goal of 100,000 coveted dollars in 1 year. If you enjoyed today's review, please support us with a like, leave a comment to show your support for our channel, and that will give us even more motivation to create useful and awesome content for you. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. See you in future episodes, stay in touch, and goodbye. Thank you for watching until the end. That's all.